As part of GVorbit configuration, we can use the IP configuration and spreadsheet import tool. Within this tool, it allows us to see all discovered devices that appear within the network and any existing friendly names, host names, descriptions that have been provided, and at a glance gives us details like their IP addresses and the number of sources and destinations that they're advertising. We can filter the list in order to just see the specific items that we're looking for. If a new IP device is added to the system, then it will just automatically populate, pulling in the case of NMOS, any of the details that the device is publishing into the NMOS registry. So we have our new device. It has the NMOS label that's published from the device. If we'd like to, we can give it a friendly name, or if we choose to, we could instead otherwise just assign the device name automatically using the NMOS labels and the NMOS descriptions. So when we do that now, we end up with our XIP desk device here within the system. If we come to source flows, for the particular device we're interested in, we can see that it's currently not transmitting any flows, and it has multicast addresses that we don't want to be using. Within the multicast options section, we can define the ranges of multicast addresses that we'd like to use, separately for video, audio, ancillary data, separately for red and blue redundant networks, A and B networks when we have them. We can also choose the ports that we'd like to be using. And the system's keeping track of all of the multicast addresses that are currently in use to make sure that when it assigns new addresses, there will be no conflicts. We can assign the addresses automatically, either for all devices in the system, or in this case, we just want to assign it for our newly added device. So I can come and choose Enable Flows. I can choose the flow types. In this case, I'm going to say 2110, 20, 30 and 40 for video, audio and ancillary. I'm going to do this for both link A and link B in a redundant network. And I'm going to overwrite any existing values. So we're going to do this, press OK. We're going to overwrite the existing values and put in what we would like to be using. It's going to go use NMOS ISO5 to send a command to the device to set up it to be using its new configured transmit multicast addresses. And now we know that we have unique multicast addresses in the ranges that we set up used for these devices. We can use this tool and do this directly. However, if we want to, we could also come and take an export of the system and save that through to a spreadsheet. And if we wanted to, we could go and modify a file where we see we now have in Excel all of the information contained in this spreadsheet. If we made some changes and then we wanted to re-import the file, we can choose that. We can choose perhaps that file or a different file, and it'll show us all of the differences between the current status and the data contained in the file. We get the option to choose when we do an import whether we'd like which elements, which are the various tabs from the spreadsheet. So it makes it very simple and easy to set up new devices in the system, to save the configuration of them, to modify that outside of the system if we'd like to, and then re-import it with error check-in as they're imported.